Since 1961, Quartz Plumbing has offered friendly, reliable service to residences all over Bergen County, New Jersey. We are a fourth-generation family-owned business, unmatched in customer satisfaction and professionalism while working in your home. We are the hydronic heating and water filtration specialists, with a workmanship guarantee to put you at ease so you can rest comfortably. We offer financing for those big projects that catch you off guard, and we have a network of excellent contractors in all fields for any project you wish to tackle. Call our responsive office team, and we'll dispatch a handsome and educated technician to lay the smackdown on all your plumbing issues. You can also find us at quartzplumbing.com, search us on Google, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Like, subscribe, and share, please.
Are you ready? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Plum Bums Podcast, the blue-collar tradesman show where we talk about small business and entrepreneurship and running a small business in the midst of the new world order. As every day you wake up, what's that meme where it says, every day I wake up and there's like, what chapter of Revelation are we on? Jeez. Anyway, here's, as with me always is my trusty sidekick, Max.
How's
Max,
it going today?
How you doing? What did you think of work today when we were...
Pipe fitting for days.
Oh, you're terrible. You can't improv at all.
What?
This is not Max.
Yeah, no kidding.
By the way, this is my buddy Sal. Max is on vacation this week, so I scrambled for a partner. And since I had to go to his house and fix a sink basket, I was like, hey, you want to just be on the show? Because I have nobody. No, so... Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell what do you do for a living? I don't even know.
So
You never come home dirty.
I don't. I'm a construction manager in New York City. I basically build a building and tell people what to do all day.
In the city.
In the city.
That's brutal.
The myths of it all.
Like where in the city?
All over. Currently, I'm in Brooklyn.
You commute to Brooklyn every day?
I drive to Brooklyn. I refuse to get on a train or subway.
What time do you have to leave your house to get to Brooklyn by the job site?
I like to be in at 6:30, so I leave like 5:15.
Oh,
but I
that's not
avoid
too
all
bad.
traffic. So it's traffic only one way on the way home.
So me and Sal and I worked together a long time ago at this little rat hole pizza place in Oradell, New Jersey. It used to be called Trios. What a mess, dude. That place was such a mess. Okay, so kids ran this place. I came in as not like a manager, but like a pizza maker.
I taught Phil how to make pizza.
He taught me how to make pizza. And I came in and like high school boys were running the joint. It was a freaking mess. The entire place was coated in grease. It was terrible. And so when you know what sucks is when you're hired as a manager and there's like a staff already established, they're like, screw you, bro. Like,
I remember Phil walking in. I was like, who the hell is this guy?
Well, then you knew you played football with my brother back in the day.
I did. And Dave is a great guy.
Dave's a good guy.
So I figured Phil was close to as great as him.
You know, Dave lives out in Ohio now.
Yeah, he does those awesome shows. Or does he not do that anymore? When he was like the
reenactor?
Yeah, he's still doing it.
He still has all his stuff. He's always looking for like new Civil War gear, but I don't know if he's done a reenactment. He should have stuck with it. I think that stuff's cool.
What's he doing now?
I think, because we don't like talk on the phone, really. I think he's working at a factory. But so my brother used to do, or he still does, Civil War reenacting for a long time. So he did the 150th anniversary at Gettysburg, which was huge.
You went?
Oh, yeah.
Thousands of people.
There were like 5,500 guys battling on the field. So they reenact the battles. And they reenacted, the one I remember was Antietam, the bloodiest battle that we've ever had in this country. And they reenacted the whole thing with cavalry and artillery and everything. It was so awesome. And that's when he fell down. So my brother used to fake die all the time. He's the best fake dyer. Like, he's just so dramatic. and he falls, and like in the middle of the field, like you know that really thick, hard grass.
Oh yeah.
He falls and one puncture, like a piece of grass or like a stick punctures his eardrum. And oh, it was terrible. It got infected and stuff. But he's still all about the reenacting. That never shut him off.
Ohio.
Bro, get into it, man.
Ohio.
All right, so Sal has this is Sal's first time hosting an online TV show.
Oh yeah. First timer here.
Listen, I'm gonna give you like a 3 or 4 at this point. So if
Give
we
me a
can get
2.
to like a 6 or a 7.
Listen, I'll try my best to get to a 6.
So long time ago, me and him used to work at this pizza place together, and
Multiple fights.
so,
Multiple fights.
listen, that was a fun job. I mean, that was a fun. Remember, I tried to fire you.
Yeah, I it was a Saturday. I came in hungover, and I made my friend Sam go home, so I had to work with you that day.
I tried to fire you, and you wouldn't leave,
I'm not leaving.
and I threatened to call the police.
Call him.
And then he
Call
just,
him.
yeah. What a mess. No respect. That was do you remember so we used to make the dough in house and you had to do the cup of oil.
Oh yeah.
You remember when I drank that cup of oil?
No.
I had it sitting there to be poured into the pizza, and you and another kid came in for their shift, and they're like, "Oh, this oil's just sitting there," and I go, $20, I'll drink that.
Oh, I do remember that.
You remember that?
Yes.
It wasn't oil. It was pineapple juice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't pay the $20. It was another kid named Nick.
But I actually really enjoyed that job. The problem was, it was like way far gone by the time we got there.
Owners were lost. not
Owners were
involved.
gone, and never like an owner. If you have a cash business and you own it, you have to be there, or it's just going to turn into a massive mess, which it was.
I mean, I lived around the block. Sal,
Yeah.
can you go in there?
Can you go in there?
Open up?
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, it's a Wednesday. I got school.
You're failing anyway.
Yeah, probably.
So
the worst and the best thing of that pizza place, I don't know if you definitely did it, but making the sauce in that big plastic jug,
like the pizza sauce.
the pizza sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like grinding up the tomatoes and stuff.
Yeah, and then, first time you walk in and the owner showed me and he's just got his arm deep in the sauce, no gloves, nothing.
Terrible, dude. Terrible. So it's obviously not Trios anymore. It went through like 3 owners.
It's
before
funny.
the
I went
present
there.
one.
I took my daughter there for a slice of pizza and showed her the place.
You would just
I
walk
think
in
it's
the back.
called La Villa Roma now.
Something like that, yeah.
I asked the guys how long they've had that oven for, and they said, "Oh, a couple of years." I said, "No way, man. That thing's been there since I've been
Is
18."
that still the original?
It's the original, same oven.
The bottom oven still doesn't work.
But no, the bottom one
It
works.
does,
Yeah,
it does. They got
we
it
just
to
never
work.
used it.
So I want to talk about you're all up in the construction business now in the city, which I kind of troll your Instagram. I see the pictures you post of these massive.
Listen, I love my job.
Do you love it?
I do.
How did you get into the management part?
So I started as a subcontractor. Was in the ironworker union. Got slow.
You were a union guy?
It used to be, yeah. 12
Wow.
years.
12 years?
12 years.
Okay, so you were Iron Workers Union.
12 years. I was doing steel. I'd set up cranes. I was installing windows on buildings, storefronts, all metal.
For the same. Oh, no.
Not for the company I work now.
Okay.
Company I work for now, I was doing a job for. Union got slow. All these owners are going non-union. Less money. More money in their pocket,
Okay. I don't know too much about that, but.
That's how it goes now. New York City's probably 80% non-union, 20% union right now. Your union companies that are standing still are carpentry.
I feel years ago it would have been switched.
Carpentry, elevator union, and mechanical.
And that's it.
That's it. That's all you see.
Well, what's
Mostly.
considered mechanical?
Like ductwork and
Oh, okay.
HVAC.
I gotcha.
I tell you right now, the plumbers, non-union. on my job.
Non-union plumbers?
Non-union, but they are great.
Dude, but it's still union in New Jersey.
Still union.
Pretty
in New Jersey,
hardcore.
yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised New York went that way. That's kind of shocking.
So I started working 3 days a week. I
Of course.
actually had one of the GCs hired me direct. to do a storefront, finish it because the company I was with went under. I ended up working for that company, and that's who I'm with now. Still,
Frankie's listening to your story.
what do you think, Frankie? I was a super for the company 6 years, and now I run the entire job that I'm on.
Wow.
Yeah,
Good for you, because, back in the day, kind of a screw up.
definitely was. Family now, I don't even think about myself.
Dude, all the
anymore.
screw ups get into construction. They get into the construction industry, and then they kill it.
It's funny, a lot of a lot of the screw ups, like they're still doing manual labor side. You know what I mean?
Well, that is true. I feel like it's a pretty lazy job. Like, you don't bust your butt.
Mine, I
Yeah.
do.
You do?
I do. It's long hours, stressful. I mean, I get in
And then that
6:30.
commute.
I get in at 6:30. I'm home by 5:30, 5 o'clock every day.
What's the biggest job you've done?
67-story building in Long Island City, Queens.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
How long did that take?
4 years.
So, how does it make you guys feel when, like, the Japanese put these things up in like a week and a half?
And then they fall down.
Not in Japan.
Well, Japan, yeah.
In China,
yes,
they
no.
do.
But it's different. The labor force is quadruple.
I watched this documentary, like why Japan's able to do that and why America doesn't. It's all about money and politics, which is really why no one's getting anywhere, because of money and politics. We don't like to talk too much about politics on this show, but I'll talk about politics that affect businesses and the trades and stuff. And we're getting, what's killing us right now is the insurance. Everyone's raising their rates like every other month. Our workman's comp is just going up and up and up like every other month.
90% of the companies in New York City that go out of business is due to insurance.
It's such a Ponzi scheme, and no one does anything about it, and you have to have it, and you have to always get more insurance, and they pile more insurance, and then they'll drop. So my car insurance calls me. I guess I missed my October payment or September payment, and I had no idea because my bank just sends them out a check every month.
Yeah, direct pay.
So I may have canceled it without realizing it, and I didn't. I've been with this company for like 13 years and have never missed a payment. I missed this one payment, and I get a notice of cancellation. And I had this girl on the phone, and I'm sure it was a call center out of country, and I'm like, so just to get this straight, so I told her, I was like, listen, I didn't realize this. I can have my bank send you out a payment, but it'll be there on the 3rd, not by the 2nd. Can you just extend it one day? She goes, no, I'm sorry, we can't do that. I'm like, I've been a customer with you for 12 years, have paid you religiously, and renewed my insurance every year. There's like, what is it? Just everything's just completely automated, like AI, no understanding the situation, none of that anymore. It's do or die. If you don't pay us, you're done. Imagine if like I run my business like that. Like if you don't pay me, I'm coming back to rip out your water heater. You won't have hot water. I don't care that you have 4 little children. Like imagine, and that's whatever. I could go off on a tangent. Insurance, what'd you say, 40%? 90%
of companies that do go out of business. I don't know the percentage of companies in the city, but 90% of the ones that do go out is for insurance.
So what do you love about your job? Everything.
I'm just building buildings, man.
Just love everything.
I just love building buildings. It's fun. I mean, this building it'll kind of be a historic moment for New York City. It's the first all-electric building in the city.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah. You want to go back to politics?
So it's basically going to suck half the grid out into itself.
So it's funny because downtown Brooklyn, you got all these high rises now. They're pushing all the people out from downtown Brooklyn towards East New York. Phase 2 of New York City Brooklyn
Dude,
build.
tell me the dirt of all that. I want to know all of it.
Phase 2 of New York City build is to take over East New York, Bronxville. That's like
Okay.
bad area. New
All
York
right.
City. Mike Tyson's from over there. But that's the plan, to push people that way and then to push them out of there completely.
Okay.
So back to the electric. All Brooklyn buildings that are east of Flatbush Ave right now, or I should say Fulton Street, all electric. There's not enough gas to pull to the buildings.
There is enough gas, though.
that are over 12. I'm sorry, that are over 12 stories.
There is enough gas. We have ample natural gas. Like natural gas is just so clean. And what people don't understand, and I'm assuming that it's becoming common knowledge that electric is not clean. It's filthy. It destroys, like mining for lithium and stuff is one of the worst things you can do to the planet. But there is enough gas, but they're like forcing limits on it. You can adjust what you got to adjust. You can get nice and comfy.
I'm comfy, dude.
All right. You don't look it. You look very uncomfortable.
Well, this chair's $40 chair. So.
Are you calling me out?
No.
You just
Not at
calling out. Listen, this whole set was made on a ridiculously budget and super fast. We did what we could, and I think we did all right. I think this looks like downtown Brooklyn a little bit.
A little hipsterish, yeah. Especially the Plum Bum podcast sign.
I got that printed. No, I hand painted that. So what do you hate about your job?
Incompetent people.
Well, yeah,
But
that's what I hate about the world.
Yeah.
What's the deal with like? So can you hire fire? Like if you have a schmuck that's just
Fired
not.
someone yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, how old are you?
35.
All right, so you're past. So I guess
So I'm the head person on the job. I have one person above me.
it would suck to be fired by someone in their 20s.
Well, it would, sometimes I feel bad because I think everyone I work with is older than me. Minus one intern
Okay.
who's about 23.
Well, that's the job.
That's the job. If you don't perform, see you later.
That's it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm in my early 40s now, so I'm kind of getting up there. But to be honest, I would probably I lean toward hiring guys that are more green so you can train them in the right way. But
I agree with that, but
if I have to hire or fire an older guy, it's like
now, maybe not for you small business wise, big business, it's very difficult to fire somebody
in New Jersey.
in New York.
Oh,
It
in
is
New York,
very
yeah. I know.
difficult to fire somebody.
Thank God New Jersey is there's a title for it. Like you don't need a reason, you can just fire
Yeah,
somebody.
New York, you can't. You get sued. It's happened to the company I'm with.
Even if you're not a union.
Yeah. So we're a construction manager. So I can hire, like on my job right now, I have 3 union companies, 3 union subcontractors. So I'm one entity. We make contracts to make a building. I hire the plumber. I hire the HVAC guy. I hire carpenter, facade guy, roofer, elevator guy. You get where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
And then I have a team of now 9 instead of 10.
Dude, look at you, dude. You couldn't even like do a big order through Trios when we got it.
I know. I mean,
Isn't that amazing?
people would order a chicken franchise. I'd call them back and say we don't have it.
You know what I did once? Were you there? This is so funny. We had put out a new menu, and then Joe comes in. He's like, "No, you can't. We're cutting the menu in half." I was like, "Bro, why didn't you tell me before?"
I remember this like it was yesterday.
So somebody ordered like chicken like Sorrentino, and I sent a dude to like the Italian place down the street. I was like, "Go order a Sorrentino and bring it to the guy," and then he did. The guy left us a review. He's like, "It's the best Sorrentino I've ever had."
Where'd you get it from? Big Jim's?
I don't even. I think it could have been Big Jim's.
That's hilarious.
Dude,
Who'd
that
you
was
send, Victor? My cousin? It might have been him.
Oh my gosh, I remember your cousin. What's he up to
He's
now?
in Massachusetts, man. He's married.
He's married?
Yeah, has a house, 2 dogs. He's in the woods in Massachusetts.
What's
You know
he
how
doing?
He does IT for. It's like an IT manager for some hotel
So
company.
he's making bank. He's making good money.
He makes good money, not as probably as much as you think, but he does well.
Is he smart with his money?
I'd say yeah.
Does he live in a nice part of Massachusetts? Because it's expensive up there.
I can't think of the town name, but he's secluded in the woods. His closest neighbor is
That's my dream.
a half mile away.
That's my dream.
Yeah.
We were talking about before we started recording. I want to go to like Montana or Idaho, and I just want like 200 acres.
Montana.
It's not fair that Bill Gates gets like millions of acres. Like we should all have our own piece of our own country. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's so selfish. You want to get to it." It's like, really? Bill Gates owns like 13 states right
I
now.
can't comment on Bill Gates. I'll get in
You
trouble.
can comment, just don't curse.
I'll get in trouble.
Bill Gates, bro. I have his computer over there. It's the worst computer in the world.
Yeah, I don't buy those. He's probably listening to us right now.
That's fine. He's got he has no power over here. What else you want to talk about?
I don't know what else you got.
I don't know. We're
You
getting
busy? How's the
slaughtered,
plumbing business?
dude. We're getting slaughtered right now with heat calls.
Oh God.
You know
Heater's
what's
not turning on?
well? You know what's happened recently is it'll go from hot to freezing.
Oh yeah.
So that's happened the last couple of years. So everyone scrambles. It's like, come on, people, we got to get. You have to call me like end of August, September, because, bro, halfway through September, I'm done. We're booked. I'm almost booked till Christmas,
Unless I call.
unless an emergency calls.
I found it weird though this year. I had the heat on. I'm sorry. I had the AC on and then jumped to put the heat on and then AC back like 2 weeks ago was 80.
That's the Northeast,
Yeah, now it's this morning I left it was 29 degrees.
dude. Move up to Boston, see how it is. Massachusetts, where your cousin is. It's crazy up there. I lived up there for a while.
Same way.
What do you mean same way?
Same way like hot cold like September October.
It's ridiculous. It'll be sunny, and then a typhoon will rip through, and then it'll snow, and then the leaves will fall off the tree in one day. It's ridiculous up there. The winters are insane, but the city never stops. Like it'll dump 3 feet. The T is up and running in 45 minutes. Back up and running.
Was the subway?
The train, yeah,
The T?
because the train comes out onto the street too, and then
Yeah.
underground.
Yeah, I've been on that.
I love that city. It's small enough. Here's what's crazy. Boston is small enough where I used to see the same people on the train, like just random people. Listen to this story. Okay, this is insane. So I went to see my friends. I used to live in Quincy off the Red Line, and my friends lived in Jamaica Plain off the Green Line. So I had to switch one train to go see them. So I'm going over there one night. Class is done, so I'm taking the train over there, and I see these group of girls jump on. They're all dressed up, ready to go out. Like go out drinking and partying. Huge college town, obviously. You know that. So I get on the train, and I just I wasn't like seriously paying attention, but enough to like remember their faces. So they get off before I get off, and I hang out at my friends all night, and then I jump on the train the next morning at like 8-9 o'clock. Dude, I saw one of those girls the next morning, black eye, bloody lip, shirt torn, shoes ripped. She looked like she was drugged out of her mind. Her clothes were disheveled. There was dirt all over her face, and she just quietly gets on the train, sits on a seat, and doesn't even like look around. And I wanted to know, like, what the hell happened? And I remember this girl from the night before, like ready to go out, have a good time. And then I see her completely abused back on the train the next day. It was insane.
Or it was a really good night.
No, she did not look like she had a
Not
good
like
night.
that?
No. No, her clothes were torn. She had like a limp. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what your definition of a good time is, but that's not mine. But it's small enough that you'll recognize people, and you'll like get to see the same faces. New York, it never happened.
Never.
Will never happen. It's too
Never.
too huge.
I mean, I see in the morning the same people walk past my building, but that's, I guess, different. Slightly.
So what else we got? How are you guys? Are you guys busy with
Oh,
this?
yeah.
Because you're in the middle of a building.
I'll be done May, and then I'm moving, same owner, down the street. I'm doing a 61-story building, 65-story building,
Wow.
about 30 yards away.
You know what we should do? We should come on the job site and film it.
We could do that.
Can we?
Yeah. Yeah, we could set up in one finished
You
apartment.
have that kind of power?
I do. Set up right in the finished apartment.
Is OSHA all over your
No.
ass? No.
It's not OSHA, really. New York City's more predominantly Department of Buildings. They're a big...
Oh, that's like state run.
Yeah.
So they're
It's
just
actually, I think, technically city run. It's New York City, Department of Buildings.
See that I can't. I like being a small operation, like a small service operation. I hate authority.
I mean, DOB comes to the building. You tell everyone, stop what you're doing. Go on break. Take a break.
Oh, you get out of here.
No, I just have them go take a break.
What's DOB?
Department of Buildings.
Oh,
So they can come. They can stop work. They can do a full stop work order on a building, partial stop work order, depending. Housekeeping fines. They could, anytime they come, you're pretty much getting a fine for something.
Really?
Yeah, you get a neighbor that complains. There's a system you can call into 311.
I can't. I mean, that's the tough part.
Yeah,
Listen,
but that's all like it's just a scam in my head. Everyone knows that. Like I've gotten a $2,500 housekeeping fine for a floor that guys were sheetrocking on.
there's a housekeeping fine.
Oh yeah.
What, if the job site's too dirty?
If the inspector walks on a floor and there's not a clear pathway, $2,500 fine.
$2,500.
But in a way, it's just like paying. It's like paying your dues.
That's not. That's like.
I know.
Oh my gosh, dude.
It's a scam.
It is a scam.
It's a scam.
That's insane.
It's
I mean,
100%
I
a
know.
scam.
I know. We put water heaters in for a certain amount in this area, but I know if I went into the city, I would be tripling that charge just because it's in the city.
At like a brownstone or something. Like my building, my hot water heaters, I have a whole mechanical floor. I think there's like 50 of them.
Yeah, but just to work in the city, the guys who are plumbers in the city are upcharging like quadruple what we charge over here.
Oh yeah.
And then your overhead, since your overhead is insane, you're really just making the same amount. You're just charging astronomical prices.
Oh yeah.
You know, Jersey City is the most expensive city in this country now, on the Jersey side.
To live?
To live.
Really?
Yep. They
To
did
by own or rent?
both. Both. Oh, I think we got.
Somebody.
So we got one of our customers. He's a hey, come here. What's up, Justin? How's it going? Good. How are you? Just take a seat real quick. We'll just we got one of our local photographers on. We're gonna do a session with him and figure out the ins and outs of that business. But yeah, let's take a break. We've been chatting for a little bit.
We could do that.
But so Max number 2 is going to.
I mean, we kind of look alike.
Oh yeah, totally. Are you kidding me? All right, so we're gonna take a break. We'll be back, and we'll keep this going. And stay tuned.
Call Quartz Plumbing and Heating for top-rated service in Bergen County, New Jersey. And don't forget to keep treats for Frankie on hand.
You're married to the love of your life, your best friend, your number one favorite person in the world. All the amazing, beautiful details that create the perfect photos, the perfect moments, are incredibly important. We're here to capture each moment, to cherish for the rest of your life. Justin Pedrick Studios. Live your best moments. Go to justinpedrick.com to find out more.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Plum Bums Podcast, the blue-collar tradesman show where we talk about small business and entrepreneurship in the midst of the New World Order taking over our planet, right? Did we discuss that last segment?
Slightly.
We implied some things about the crazy times, man, crazy times. You're in construction in the city. I'm in service work out here, and we're just getting bombarded and swamped with a whole bunch of BS.
When are you going to start new construction?
Oh,
Come on.
never.
Come on. That's where
There's
the
no,
money
no,
is.
no, there's not.
Yes.
That is such a crock, dude.
No.
That's not true. And I'll tell you why, because you have to be at the mercy of the GC, and if it's a bad GC, you're screwed. And you're called back to the job because the construction guy needs you to move this pipe, and you have to come back. You got to stop. If I had the crew, maybe.
Okay.
But people are always going to... Here's why I stick to service, because people are always going to go with the cheaper option for the renovation, and then they'll have to call the service guy back 2 years because everything's falling apart. By the way, back with the substitution, Sal, the substitution,
AKA Mac.
the substitution
The sub.
instead of the situation. What do you think of that?
I'm
You
way
are
better
Italian,
looking
right?
than Half.
Half Italian.
Half.
The substitution from the Jersey Shore.
I could go with that for the next episode.
All right, we'll do that.
Instead of Sal, the substitution. That could be my name.
No, Max is on vacation, so we got a couple guys filling in for him. And again, my old buddy from way back when, the food service industry. But we're back from break, and we have one of our loyal customers and one of the top photographers and videographers, wedding videographers in North Jersey, rated by Zagat.
Yeah, Zagat, the Bergen record. No,
This is Justin Pedrick. You do wedding photography for this whole area for how long now?
I think I shot my first wedding 20 years ago.
20 years ago?
Yeah.
You're early 40s, right? You mind me
I'm
saying
40.
that?
Yeah.
Wow, so you've been in this for a long time.
Yeah.
In this area?
In this area.
You got to travel a lot, though.
I shoot a lot of the same venues in this area. Like any wedding that you've ever been to, I've probably
Really?
shot there before. Especially in the tri-state, especially northern New Jersey. I think the reason why is because New Jersey specifically does weddings a lot differently than
Oh, yeah.
the rest of the world.
100%. Absolutely.
The money that is spent on some of these events is mind-boggling, and people come here. I have a lot of clients from Staten Island and Long Island that have their weddings in New Jersey.
They'll come to a venue out
Come
here.
to a venue in New Jersey.
Pull the mic a little bit. Pull the mic a little bit closer.
A little more rustic.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, some travel. Got to go to some cool places to shoot, but primarily, New Jersey, all of New Jersey.
You know, I'm happy to have you on because, especially from your industry, because it's an artistic industry. We had, let's see who we've had. We've had the other guy who was kind of an artistic industry was the tattoo guy, but that's it. I've had my cleanup guy on. That's just cleaning up. You know what I mean? Like, just those types of industries. But we talk a lot about branding and marketing, and as a photographer, I'm not going to say that it's easy, but your content is easily, it translates easily into social media.
Definitely.
Where you can put out some cool stuff to get views and stuff and kind of build your brand online.
Yeah.
How important is building your brand specifically online, or is it more of like an organic reach where you're getting customers that way?
So to your first point, the work is the content,
Yeah.
which is great. I mean, if you're doing a job, you're also on the side filming the job that you're doing.
Right.
For me, I just do the job, and that stuff becomes the content, which is nice in that way. It's definitely important. I have some younger guys that work with me that tell me how important it is every day.
Oh, you have a crew?
Yeah.
How many guys go out with you on a crew?
So we got a wedding tomorrow. There's gonna be 4 of us, 4 guys.
That's true. You need lighting. You need
Yeah, so it's myself. I'll be the lead, and then there's a second photographer who's normally with the groomsmen,
Right.
watching them get hammered. And then I have a videographer, and then an assistant who carries bags, holds lights that are kind of similar to these. And
I mean, it is an insane. It's part of a whole insane industry, is the wedding industry.
yeah,
But photography, I mean, that's one of the most important features of a wedding, and I'm sure people go nuts. You know, I've had complaints about that couch that's not too comfortable.
it's not that great.
It's the same with this chair. Don't worry.
All right, listen, get me advertisers, and then we can get some new furniture.
All right, Phil. Listen. Where do you think the wedding is tomorrow?
What do I think?
Yeah.
It's not up here. It's not North Jersey.
Oh, it's not?
Oh.
Is it like a established venue, or is it like
Yeah.
on a beach?
It is down the shore.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's a.
I don't know
pretty-
anywhere
I'm
down
gonna
there.
go with Long Branch.
No, I'm there next weekend though
Oh.
at a Wave.
Yeah.
yeah. It's a pretty popular
People are
event.
getting those fall weddings in.
Getting the fall weddings in, and they're always tricky. I think they imagine something very different. Tomorrow should be nice, but they want the foliage.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times, everybody's just really cold.
Where is it?
Crystal Point Yacht Club tomorrow.
You know, it's rained, what, the last, like, 8 weekends?
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah, it's been awful.
How's that been? How do you compromise for that? I mean, Let me ask you, like, your ballpark of the equipment you take to a wedding. What would you say, like, or do you not want to talk about that?
Like the cost of the stuff.
Listen, so I'm trying to upgrade the cameras for this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the price tag is just like, oh my God, with the
Yeah.
lenses and stuff. I
Yeah.
can't imagine having an established business.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. Where it's insured. I've had stuff stolen. People get drunk and walk away with stuff at
Holy
jobs.
Drunk knocking it down.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot
Stands.
of like, what's this?
Yeah.
Just
Oh my
hold it.
gosh, that is so obnoxious. Dude, drunks are so obnoxious. I can't imagine having to deal with that as like a living.
The last wedding I was at was at the Manor
Yeah.
in, what is that, West Orange?
The Manor they just closed the Manor.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they
for
really?
good.
Really?
It's like after 60 something years or something.
This
Yeah.
wedding,
Wow.
I can remember the photography. It was a crew of 15 deep,
Yeah.
high class wedding.
Yeah.
Whose?
Friend of a friend.
Okay.
The woman is from Rhode Island. The guy's from down here.
He's like, they're way too rich for you to know him.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? That's what I'm getting at. The cocktail hour had to have cost more than my house.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What's the most expensive wedding you've gotten sucked into?
I never know the final price tag of what people are
Take
paying.
a guess. I
but,
mean,
600K.
yeah, maybe somewhere in that like half a
are
million.
you kidding me for one day?
Sometimes in the city. Now those aren't my. Now there's different. There's almost like different tiers of wedding photography. There's some real like there's some bargain brands. You know, if you're on a budget, and then you have your kind of like middle of the road, and then you have people that are really branding themselves as luxury,
Okay.
boutique kind of photographers. And I always found I'm like kind of in the middle. I have a lot of cops and teachers. Those
Okay.
are my clients, and I like that.
Okay.
That's always suited me well. But I got put into a wedding. It was a referral from someone else that couldn't do it. It was in Manhattan.
Oh, God.
And I went. I remember going to grab the dress because I was gonna move it to take. And I do this often. You know, put it in a window for a picture of the
Right.
dress. And some family member, I don't know, it was an aunt or something. She physically just grabbed my hand and asked me if I had washed my hands. And then they asked me to wear gloves. So then I just said, you know, if someone else could move this for me, that'd be great. So I actually learned a lesson. I really don't handle the dress much anymore because of that experience.
Oh.
And that dress was probably 50 grand. I mean, like, who knows? It
Yeah.
was just insanity. The amount of money that people spend on this. But if you have the money,
Why not?
I guess.
once
I mean,
in a lifetime,
yeah.
hopefully, you know.
I mean, I can't imagine that, like dropping that much money for one day, but the money is out there for sure. You know, how did you get into photography to begin with?
I did photography in high school, really liked it. I went to art school in New York City.
Did you really?
I did. I didn't know what I just knew I wanted to do photography. My first day of art school was 9/11 in Manhattan.
Get out of here, dude.
Yeah, 23rd Street. It was on 23rd Street. That was pretty wild.
You
Holy
saw a second plane?
I didn't see.
You heard it.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. It took us 13 hours to get out of Manhattan. I was in a car with like a friend of a friend. We were picking
Wow.
up people. That's a whole other thing. That could be a whole show. But yeah, I went to school for it, which is something that I just wouldn't recommend to anyone. I have younger guys that are like, how do I get into should I go to school for photography? I'm like, absolutely not. You should go to school for business and maybe watch some YouTube videos.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I would recommend.
Right.
Because the things that I learned in 2001 are not even relevant anymore.
Of
The
course.
I mean, same in a lot of industries, but the
Yeah.
technology changes so much.
360 compared to now.
Exactly. I don't know if I use anything that I learned there.
We talk a lot about, you know, how you can get your college education off YouTube at this point if you do it
Absolutely.
right.
Yep.
And we talk about people and that, I mean, kids are still pushed to go to college just because it's supposedly the thing to do.
Yep.
But if you're self-employed, business probably, yeah, you're right. You probably have a point with that. But at the same time, I learned everything off YouTube and Google and figuring out how to do Excel and doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
And didn't spend any money.
Yeah.
And then you got kids coming out with degrees like communication degrees, and they're what, like $100,000, $120,000 in debt
Did you do the hour
know?
20-minute tutorial on YouTube for Excel? Because I did.
For Excel?
Yeah.
No, I just would Google like, how do I do this formula, and then I would get stuck. I said, how do I do this formula? It was a nightmare.
So Excel, like with me, it's main thing I use.
Dude, I love Excel now.
Me too.
I treat it like a computer game at this point.
But it's like Minesweeper to me. I swear it is. You type these formulas in, you can. I'm telling you, it's crazy. The things I Google now for that, you can drag. I could do a whole spreadsheet in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I can.
That
When
was a
I
good video you watched.
Because there's kids I work with, college kids,
Yeah, they don't know.
sitting there putting.
dragging the mouse over to
Give
click,
you an
and then
example. 8 times 5 is 40. He'll be typing.
I'll take your word for it.
He'll be typing that in. I'm sitting there dragging, pulling. I don't even know what the numbers are, and I just know it's right just from doing a tutorial on YouTube.
I love Excel now. When I completed my first sheet that did math on its own, it was like 11:30 at night. My uncle's passed out, but I don't care. I'm calling him like, get on your computer right now. You got to see what I just made. This is going to help the business so much. And then I just would keep building and building, and then I would watch on marketing, and I would, it's all there.
Yeah.
There's no reason to pay 30 grand a year for it. You know what I mean?
Now it's like 50.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, I guess.
When we were
jeez.
when I was going to college, I think it was like 27,000 a year.
Did you go to school?
Yeah, I wish I didn't. But again, I took my major was business management.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
There's something to be said about
I
that.
played
Yeah.
football in college. I bet if I didn't
nice.
play football, I probably never would have went to school.
Oh, that's right. You did play football.
I
No,
would have had 4 more years in my profession than I have now. That's the way I look at it.
the business is smart, and I see where and I say, yeah, you need to have some kind of, because what they were doing with plumbing is you would get your license, and there was no type of business, anything on the test in school, nothing, and all these guys would get their license, and their businesses would go under in 2 years.
Right.
So now they've added business stuff to the test and the school.
Yeah.
But when you jumped into it and you started doing it professionally, so you graduate college, did you start doing weddings before you graduated?
Yeah. Yeah, weddings were kind of frowned upon at school. I don't even know what kind of photography I was going to get into. I think I
Okay.
wanted to do commercial photography for magazines or sports or something like that. Like, I think that's where my mind was at the time. So I was just taking a bunch of photo classes, no business classes. And I knew that I was getting into an industry that I wasn't going to, like, graduate and, like, find a job online and go have an interview.
Right.
I was going to have to, like, schmooze my way in somewhere and, like, get a chance. That's why I mentioned the business thing. I wish I took like I wish they offered a business class where I went, but it was an art school. Like
Right.
I had a fashion photography teacher that worked at Vogue. Like they were a fashion editor. Like so they.
It's so crazy though, because people who were going to art school are going to be working for themselves.
Yeah.
You would think that
Right.
they would build the curriculum like you're going to have to
They
know
might
how to
have
do
changed it.
this.
They might have changed.
Yeah,
that.
I guess so.
Not.
I mean, I don't want to
sure.
dog too much on college.
Yeah. All right.
You know.
All right. We don't have to.
I mean, we can off camera because I have a lot of opinions, but
It's obvious.
I don't want to
already, so-
ostracise like half our audience that is sitting there with the degree like, oh, Plum Bum said I shouldn't even get this. You know what I mean? Not that anyone's listening to what I'm saying, but so clearly doing weddings so I actually, when I was younger, like 14, 15, I had a part-time job as a gaffer with this guy who did Jewish weddings and bar mitzvahs, which was insane.
Yeah.
You talk about money.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Yep.
The amount of money that these people would spend for one day.
Yep.
And I thought it was real. I thought it was cool as hell because the way this guy would just jump into like a conga line and get these awesome pictures, like he would frame it up so quick, boom, 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 boom. And then I would go back and he would get the film development and I would have to help go through. I always thought photography was awesome. My sister's kind of into photography. It's really cool. I just never had the time to do the lenses or even figure out.
Yeah.
But with weddings, he did bar mitzvahs. It's hard to make a living, I would assume, just taking nature photos,
Right. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And you got to
I'd love to go just hike around and take pictures of stuff that I thought was really cool and make money.
do
doing
you
it.
do that like in your free time or you're just like, "Ugh, I can't even."
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I bought like personal cameras that are like I take pictures of my kids with
Right.
like a set, this is my work stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm gonna leave work at work.
Right.
Like have another camera for just that. But I do still enjoy photography. Like that's why I started it. But I didn't think I would, because After a 3 wedding in a row weekend or something, I don't want to look at cameras anymore.
Well, that's the thing. Like, even if you're doing something that you really enjoy, when you're doing it for a living, it is work. It becomes work.
Yeah.
We talked about, I really enjoy video editing.
Yeah.
I enjoy that part of this, you know, and I used to put out to, like, you know, a couple of like small business owners, like, listen, I'll make you a little promo video for Facebook. And as soon as they give you money and you have to do it, I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to, this sucks. And then if I'm not getting paid, I love to do it.
Yeah.
Is he annoying you?
No, he's great.
Yeah, he's a really needy dog. This is the Hey, no one's coming. Relax. Frankie took mushrooms earlier, so so just don't mind her. She's peeking right about now. Just bear with her. That's terrible. You shouldn't make a joke like that about animals, bro.
I couldn't tell if you were joking or being serious.
You think I give my dog psychedelic mushrooms?
Potentially.
You think I'm that type of person? I invite you on my show and you accuse me of being an animal abuser?
I didn't accuse you. I was 50-50
You assumed
on
it. So I want to talk about the social media presence, branding. What's your approach? There's so many photographers out there. How do you set yourself apart? And what I'm trying to do is, because we have small business owners that, you know, they kind of watch a little bit of us and they pick up tips about branding their own stuff.
Yeah.
How do you try to stand out against a ton of other companies that are taking pictures of the same thing?
It's a good question. A lot of our business is I can trace back. I could probably trace back all my weddings, probably like one couple somehow. Like I remember like one couple that told some friends some friends, and that spider web happened.
All right.
And a lot of it's word of mouth, but branding, I feel like knowing my audience has become knowing my clients and the type of clients that are going to hire me is helpful. What they want, staying ahead of trends, having younger guys that work with me is really helpful.
True.
Like there's a new trend going on in wedding photography where you will charge the couple to have a guy walk around with their phone and just film content during the day.
Oh, get out of
and
here.
then just give them, like, at the end of the wedding day, it's like, here's a camera roll full of stuff from your day.
Then they're on Instagram making reels out of the
Yep,
videos.
exactly.
Oh, wow.
So that, like, no, like that, just here, like, as soon as I heard about that, I'm like, I'm going to offer that.
Yeah.
Because the people getting married are
It's
also
actually-
reading the same blog
pretty cool.
Oh,
posts.
yeah.
You've
100%.
never seen that?
No.
Go on Instagram and type in like wedding POV.
I've never been
reel.
married, bro. I don't know anything about that process. Nothing. I'm
Telling
a
you,
plumber.
it's cool to see.
I spend my life in a basement, like, all day long. Anyway, go ahead. What were you saying?
It's kind of cool to watch.
Don't raise your voice to me.
It's very cool to watch.
Don't lower your voice that much to me. That's weird. No, I follow a lot of photography, and there are people that have a specific point of view that you can see through their social media. And I look at it that it's got to be tough. So you have to stay on the cutting edge. And isn't it interesting that we're only in our early 40s and we have to look to the younger guys to kind of,
Yeah.
that sucks so much. And you're about to, are you kidding me? You're 5 years,
Younger than you.
no, you're 7 years younger than me. But dude, I'm telling you, as soon as you hit 40, everything, like, you just, you step out of your house on your 40th birthday and you're like, wow, everything's different. And my knees hurt. And
It's
my
funny.
back
My
hurts.
knee hurt the other day. My knee hurt the other. I got an MRI on my knee last night.
Dude, I hit 40 and that was it.
Yeah.
Everything just changed. And I was angry from that point on.
Dude, I got quick funny story. So I got surgery on my left knee when I was a junior in high school 19 years ago, 2 Thursdays ago.
Wow, knee surgery in high school? Why, from football?
Football game, yeah. I tore my MCL, PCL, LCL, meniscus, and medial meniscus. I woke up on
cow.
a Sunday. I had my daughter's soccer game, coaching, just I'm not running around, hanging out. Come home, watch the Rangers hockey game. Sunday I wake up, I could not stand. I don't know if it was from hot to cold weather. Usually it bothers me, but this was scale of 1 to 10, 9 pain.
Ugh.
Monday I went to work, barely could walk. Tuesday I went to the doctor. He's like, "Yeah, you tore your meniscus again." I'm like, "How do you know that?" He's like, "Well, I don't, but I can tell by this movement. You got to get an MRI." I got the MRI last night. I got the follow up tomorrow, so I'll have to be the substitution again to give you the rest of the story when I find out.
You gonna leave it for part 2?
Part 2.
All right, cliffhanger, folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll be
Tune in again next week.
Tune in again next week. We'll be sitting in the same spot, sipping the same drink.
Yeah,
That sucks.
But yeah,
Surgery in high school is. You should have stopped
That's
playing
brutal.
football after that. Yeah,
I
that
did.
is-
Did you
Listen,
get to play your senior year?
I was running track that winter.
Oh wow.
I went crazy. I mean, you know how I am. I
Yes.
got surgery.
Yes, I know how
I
you
was
are.
home out of school for a little bit. I was running indoor track by January.
That youthful.
I used to cut class
Youth
and
is
have a
wasted on
girl
the
drive
young.
me to Westwood to go to physical therapy.
Where's this girl now?
She
Heal
just
a
got
lot faster.
married. I think she lives in California.
How long ago did you get married?
2017.
So how about you rate your photographer? You guys did the shopping for the photo. Oh, you probably didn't do anything.
I didn't get a
This guy
photographer.
didn't pick out anything. He didn't do anything. He didn't lift a finger for it. I guarantee it. You
I
just
didn't-
sat back.
Yeah. I sat back. What do you want to do? We didn't do a big wedding.
Sal was a bridezilla.
We did we actually got married in a park
That's nice.
on a bridge with a waterfall behind it.
Perfect.
That's it.
That is perfect.
Few
Jeez.
people, 12 people, 8 people.
That was
That's
all your
awesome.
wife.
That's awesome.
My wife's friend took pictures.
On her phone.
No,
Just sitting there
she
with
had
her
a
iPhone.
camera. I don't know what it was. Black camera, Canon, usual big lens thing.
So you're working. So so you had that type of. You're working in. I imagine. Okay, I've seen clips of bridezillas on TV and stuff like that. You're working with people in a service industry on probably one of the most stressful days of their life, with no buffer.
Yeah.
It's just. I mean. Give me like a horror story, like,
Yeah, give us the meltdown story.
and make sure you tell us their name and address too.
I over
I need to. I want to hear the worst Karen.
I honestly would have to think hard about that. But I do realize that photography is so unimportant. Like, as far as the hats that I wear, I feel like I need to be an entertainer, a guidance counselor, because if a bride's freaking out because the limo isn't there and it's just me and her in the hotel room
Oh my
waiting
gosh.
before that, it's just me. I'm just there with her. She's like, "What are we gonna do?" I'm just crying. I'm like, "You're getting married in like an hour." And then and just like all of a sudden my cameras are meaningless. Like, this photographer has now turned into the guy who's got to talk you off the ledge.
Psychiatrist.
Holy
Go
cow!
downstairs.
Yeah, I'd be out. I'd be like, I got to go to the bathroom.
Or like a morning that I don't feel good. Like, I can't call out of a wedding.
Right.
I got, or if I just am not feeling like being a people person that day, I have to go there and be like, this is the best day ever,
Yeah.
guys, isn't it? I do fortunately I like it. I do.
You like what you do.
I would have quit if I didn't like it, because there's no way that I would be able to handle that unless there was some sort of satisfaction at the end.
Of course.
But there's been a lot of not really bridezillas, but a lot of stuff has to do with alcohol. My go-to story always is I did a St. Patrick's Day wedding on Long Island during the day, and it was an Irish wedding.
For the Flanagans.
And
The Flanagan.
when I say these guys were turning it on early, like during prep, it was like 9 a.m. because it was a day wedding, and I'm
Bro,
like,
the-
this is gonna get this.
The
is gonna
Irish
go
start
wild.
a week prior.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm Irish.
All right.
Yeah, so I knew what I was getting into.
Right.
So it was, and as a bunch of good Irish people, they were like, half of them were cops and firemen.
Of course. That's
A
the only thing they
fight
ever do.
breaks out during the reception. I thought it was dancing. I realized it was a big fight.
You're like taking
Yeah,
pictures.
I'm like, oh, these guys are like really getting into it. And then I see punches, and it got pretty wild. There's guys on the floor. There was blood, brides screaming, bridesmaids screaming, people screaming. Then the cops come. A couple guys start going out, not in handcuffs, but they're clearly being taken out, belligerent. Everyone's yelling. Guy just comes up to me. He's like, "Yo, you know all those guys that got kicked out? They're all cops." The cops came
No
and got
way.
the cops and took them out.
Unbelievable.
I would have came up to you. You get all that?
yeah,
And we
seriously.
we did get all that.
That's
which
awesome.
which
Like
was great.
complete action shots or
Yeah, the groom. I remember the groom telling me like something crazy was gonna happen. I have a good friend. He's an Irish cop, a retired Irish cop, and he's like, the Irish people, we all suppress all of our emotions until a wedding,
Until a
or a
wedding.
funeral.
Yeah.
And then they all come out, and people just
Dude,
start
Irish
going
weddings
crazy.
are like a Dothraki wedding, bro. Someone always dies. There's always bloodshed.
Yeah, but that stuff like that happens.
I got something off topic.
How
Slightly.
off topic?
It's slightly off topic. But you said you had a wedding on Long Island.
On Long Island.
Come on.
In
Long Island.
Long Island. Okay.
Is that really?
Oh, man, I get in fights with
You're
people.
not even from there.
And I get in fights with people at work when they say, "Oh, I live on Long Island." No, dude, you live in Long Island. You know Long Island is not even an island? If you Google
live
it
in
right
Long
now-
Island, you live on Long Island. You live on Long Island
Why do you live on it?
because it's an island.
Do you live on New Jersey?
No, I live in Jersey.
Okay.
But I would feel like if it's an island, you're saying I live on
That's
this
just
island.
the title of it. Google
Right,
it.
yeah, it's
Long
true.
Island's a peninsula.
I could see both.
What are
Yeah,
you
'cause if you
fu-
say like I'm on an island,
What are you
it's
fighting with
because it's the
people for?
word it's because of the word island.
I wasn't fighting. I was verbally arguing with them.
That's like down the shore when we say down the shore.
Yeah.
No one says I'm going down to the shore.
I
It's
say I'm
freaking
going to the
weird.
beach.
You do?
Yeah. Hey, Jen, you want
If you go to the
beach
Jersey
today?
Shore, you say you're going to the beach?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Why?
Because everyone's going down the shore.
I'm driving in my car to the beach.
This is why I don't take your Long Island thing seriously, because you're wrong about this. It's down the shore. You're
Google
not
it.
going to the beach. What do you mean Google it?
Google what
What
is
do
Long
people
Island
say?
an island? It's a peninsula.
It's an island.
It's a
It's in the
peninsula.
name. Is Long Island an island?
Google
I
it.
don't know.
Bro,
I'll Google
I
it.
can't. Somebody Google this right now.
Just type "Is Long Island an island?"
Google this while I
Is that specific wordage going to turn up the answer?
Google
know.
Google this while I figure out a way to get out of it once I'm proved wrong. Frankie, stop barking at people. There's nobody here except us.
Is long...
While we're waiting, listen, guys, remember to subscribe.
The reason Long Island isn't considered an island. In 1985, all 9 justices on the Supreme Court agreed Long Island, the mass of land completely surrounded by water, is not an island. It is a peninsula.
How is it a peninsula if it's completely surrounded by water?
Because it's not completely surrounded by water.
They just said. Read that again.
I'm not reading it again. I'll read it again. It is a peninsula.
It's not.
Justin's reading it right now, and he sees it.
Well, the first Reddit is yes, Long Island is an island.
Oh,
Reddit. I just got banned from Reddit again. I got to start up
Again?
another account. Yeah.
why are you fighting with people?
I don't fight with people. I just make funny comments.
I just got banned from one of my town political pages.
Why are you fighting with people?
Facebook page?
Oh yeah, I had to call somebody out. That's my main problem. You got these people and they hate on other people, and as soon as someone challenges them, they block you. A guy
Well,
blocked
they
me.
report you.
A guy blocked me because I had to tell him what was real about asphalt. I do it for a living.
He blocked you over an asphalt comment?
So in my town, PSE&G did it was federally grant from whoever the federal government, I guess.
Oh, dude, the road system and the construction I hear is
So
is
listen,
a nightmare.
It's for more green system. So we got all high pressured gas from the street now. So
Okay.
when PSE&G does that work, the federal money, they're only going to pay for where they had to rip the road up. They're not going to repave the whole road
Right.
in the town.
Right.
So now you got half the road paved. You get these people complaining, "Oh, the road's going to buckle, it's going to crack." No, guys, there's, and then it turns into, "Oh, it was a political move by the mayor and council, this and that." It's nonsense. So,
And what was your comment?
my comment was, do you know what a binder course is? And he goes,
Blocked.
no, he responded back, and I said, "You're lost. You put a binder course, you put a wear coat, you pour the asphalt, and then you have a topping coat, which is the one that takes a beating, and that's a 2-inch pad.
Okay.
You put a seal between the two, no water gets in."
Well, what happened with when did he? Well, at one point, did he block you?
When I told him he
When
was
did it
lost,
break?
and I listed all the facts, he read it, commented something, and then probably was embarrassed and deleted the whole thing and blocked me.
Dude, this is why I don't do the internet. I have Facebook. All my social media is for the business, but for Facebook, you have to have a personal Facebook,
Yeah.
and then you have a business page.
Yep.
I have a personal Facebook. I have a bunch of friends, and they're all hidden from my page because I don't want to know your opinion. I don't want to know who you're voting for. I
I'm
don't
not
want to know
hidden.
what you're hit on
I?
Facebook. You're absolutely hidden.
I can see you though.
You posted a stupid meme. I'm going to go hide,
Oh, really?
hide Sal.
But I can see your Bill
Yeah,
Gates page.
but from my news feed, I just
Oh.
hide everybody.
Oh, I got.
Like if something's important, text me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was actually, before we went off on that tangent, I wanted to ask you, what was I going to ask you? It'll come back.
Oh, me?
No, Justin. It was pertaining to, oh, you're, okay, so we talk a lot about, we have a lot of guys coming in who are self-employed, and they talk about the journey it was to figure out how to properly charge and the nightmare that it took to finally get there.
Yeah.
So especially with something as, you know, how many hours are you on a wedding, basically? How many hours are you involved with a specific couple for their wedding? Not even at the same day.
On the day of the wedding, like 9 to 10 hours.
9 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
And what's like prep time before? Meeting with them?
Couple phone calls. They get an engagement shoot, so that's like another
yeah.
hour,
Yeah, I was
2
gonna ask
hours,
about that.
depending on that. So yeah, there's like a 3 hours, 4 hours before.
How do you run your numbers? How do you run your, and you don't have to tell me your pricing, but how did you figure out as a business owner? I mean, did you learn hard lessons? Did you be like, oh man, I am not going to be able to support myself if I'm charging this?
Yeah, I learned some hard lessons. I went in kind of, in the beginning, I was doing stuff for just pennies,
Yeah,
just really for friends.
of course.
And then not really knowing how to charge, looking up other photographers in the area, and learning that this is a big faux pas, is then like undercutting their prices,
Right.
because then they're thinking that I'm driving the value of
Oh,
what
yeah.
we do down. I totally understand that now. Hard
better.
lesson.
Same thing with me as a
Um,
plumber. I want to kill those guys that are undercutting us.
So a lot of that. I think the formula to me now is not very mathematical. Well, maybe a little, but I say to myself, this is how much money I want to do this job, net.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is what I want to take home from doing a wedding, and then I build everything. Then I build all my expenses on top of that,
Okay.
and that's what I charge.
And it took you how long to get to that? Because I'll
20
give you
years.
20. Did it? like you're still like
No,
You're
like 10 years.
a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
Dude, I'm telling you, I took this over 8 years ago. It took me 5 years to actually get to where I'm at now, and I still have a ways to go to figure out about, especially with COVID, and that's what we got to talk about too.
Yeah.
Because your industry was one of those industries where you had nothing.
Yeah.
You had no recourse, no nothing. All of a sudden, one day the government says, you can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
We're lucky. Building still took place. But wedding photography, what did you do? Walk me through when you realized that you would be stopped from conducting business and like,
Definitely a major freak. Not let me backtrack. No, I freaked out.
Yeah.
I knew. I saw the writing on the wall. I didn't know how long it was gonna last. That was the trickiest part. But honestly, it was definitely if I mean comparing year to year, 2020 was an awful year for
Oh, yeah.
business.
Yeah.
But I didn't have no business.
pull the mic a little bit closer to you.
But I didn't have 0 jobs. Still had jobs.
Yeah.
I think I was shooting in maybe May, early May. I think everything shut down in March.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of April, early May, I was shooting.
And you said, we had talked about this off camera. You said it was almost like prohibition, like secret weddings, like people are still going to get married. Do you mind
People-
talking about that?
No, not at all. People still had. There was a lot going on with venues and couples and moving dates. They had a wedding in place at a specific spot that they want to get married in, and they had to move all those weddings.
Yeah.
So 2021 turned into twice
Mayhem.
what 2020 would have been. Yeah,
Mayhem.
it was absolute mayhem. And that's when my team actually grew. I realized like I can't shoot all these weddings myself. I need to kind of double down on the people that are helping me and start sending them out to these jobs more. I was doing it a little bit beforehand, but that like COVID really I learned the ropes on how to kind of farm out a little bit,
Right.
like just use my help.
Do you trust your crew?
I do.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to find people that are like
Yeah.
not wearing those hats that I said.
Right.
Can they be also the guidance counselor?
Yeah.
And all that on top. Like I know really great photographers, but do they have the personality that's
Yeah.
gonna match the clients that I'm giving them?
Of course.
But yeah, there was like people started doing, getting creative. Backyards. Hey, my cousin's got a big backyard out in the middle of nowhere. No one's gonna bother us. We'll invite 30 people. We still want to get married on this date that we were gonna get married on, even though we're gonna postpone the wedding at this big wedding venue next year. So it was almost like business
okay.
almost doubled a little bit because now I'm like, oh, can you shoot this? Yep, and I'll also shoot the other one. Like I'll shoot
Wow.
the real one, for everybody, and I'll shoot the little one, the micros. We started calling them the micro weddings. So all these big weddings,
I can't believe there was a term for them. That's so funny.
little micro weddings. People started. That was another thing. Like, how do I price a micro wedding now? I'm only going to be at your cousin's, farm
Right.
for 3 hours now. How do I figure that out?
Wow,
but
that's
engagement
crazy.
shoots kept happening, and it was all just based on people's comfort level. Some people
Yeah.
just canceled their weddings. Some people didn't want to. Even into 2021, people were still really kind of nervous about it.
So you had a noticeable lull maybe for like 2 months,
Yeah.
2 to 3 months.
Yeah. By the end of the summer, I felt like okay because
Okay.
people were starting to book weddings again, like new
Gotcha.
dates. Because that too, like the venues were closed. People weren't shot. Like if they were engaged, they weren't planning their wedding.
Yeah.
They were like, all right, let's get through
Let's
this
just-
first,
right.
and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
A lot of postponements. But yeah,
Wow.
I'd say it was kind of scary for a little bit, but it kept on going.
Yeah. I mean, people survived, but I did an episode. We actually drove down to Harrisburg a couple weeks ago, and I interviewed this company that advocates for small business in light of COVID because they had 2 gyms and they were forced to close, and they tried proving to the government that they can stay open and meet the guidelines, but local government said no, you have to close anyway. So now they advocate for small business and they kind of lobby for small business. So there are companies out there since COVID who got forced. They lost everything.
Yeah.
So they're on that side, and we talked quite a bit about COVID, obviously, because that's how they started. But when COVID hit, I don't know about you, you were still working, but there were talks from Phil Murphy about saying that local plumbers cannot work. We have to give everything to PSE&G, which is subsidized by the government. So that would have just been great. You just shut down every small. Thankfully, he didn't.
Yeah.
And we got busy, crazy busy. And it's funny how you said that all of a sudden these micro weddings came in and you almost got doubly busy. It's just crazy how all that kind of worked out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can see how someone in your industry would just panic.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got a wife and a couple kids at home.
Mm-hmm.
How long were you in that house before that? How long since you bought that house till COVID hit?
I guess we were in there for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have a mortgage payment, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
Total opposite for me. I bought my house during COVID. How crazy is that?
Was that a good time to buy?
So it was tough. I was getting outbid by everyone. All these New Yorkers moving in, coming in.
So it was during that time.
Yeah.
I was May 2021.
My whole block is New York transplants. From that.
I was
time.
looking everywhere. I looked Westwood, Washington Township. I was looking. I really thought I was going to end up living in Oakland.
Oakland's not bad.
No, it was great.
like
It was
Oakland.
a nice. It was a nice corner house, but it was not a 90 corner. It was a curve. House sat on the corner. Nice backyard. Had the house. I got a phone call. I was like, oh, maybe like attorney review. They want to start sooner. They're like, oh, someone offered 200,000 more than you to buy the house.
200,000?
Yeah, because what they were doing. So, just let's say it was $600,000 house. The agent told them, oh well, we have a bid for 750. Even though my bid was 600, then they were like, oh, we'll give you
man.
850 for it. So they were making out like that.
Unbelievable.
So the way I got my house was my realtor lives on my block, who's an Oradell cop. He knew my neighbor.
Uh-huh.
They wanted to leave, so we did the whole house on the market for 8 hours type deal, and
I
they were
gotcha.
just giving me the house as like friend to a friend, word of mouth deal. So no one else looked at this house. I remember my wife looked at the house on a Tuesday in the morning. I
Uh-huh.
left work and I met him and looked at it. We looked at it separately. I was like, Jen, I sat in front of the house. No cars drove by. Backyard's big. You've been back there.
I've been back there. It's a nice little house.
Let's do it.
And you're right by the school. You got a nice little piece of property in Dumont.
I didn't even consider the idea that like agents could be fluffing.
How
Like,
crazy
you
is
know,
that?
you're
Dude,
just
you
kinda
know
like
what?
just, all these buyers are coming in and baking everyone cookies and
You-
giving $100,000 over.
You
for
know
no
what
reason.
companies like I don't know if it's specifically Zillow, but companies like these big real estate companies, what they'll do is they'll come in and they'll buy a whole block at market
Trulia.
value.
Right,
Trulia
right,
does
yeah,
that.
yeah. I
And
was
then
reading
they'll
about
buy
that.
one house like quadruple
Yep.
and then they'll drive
they'll
up the
drive it
price.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, on purpose.
That is so
Yeah.
corrupt, dude.
Yeah,
like
that's yeah.
corporations should not be able to buy residential real estate.
No. That's
Like why didn't the
Yeah,
founding
but you know
fathers
where they
think
do
of
that? They do that. They do it at the beach or down the shore.
down the shore?
It's this and like everyone's like, "Oh, the bubble." It's like, "Bro, real estate companies are causing this bubble." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't mess with people where like people need homes,
Yep.
you know? And people like we live in an expensive area and people who are in our industries in the service industry or construction industry, we need places to live. Like I get complaints about my prices all the time. And I'm like, "Listen, I have to live here too. I need to have a roof over my head in your area too. What do you want to commute from Scranton, Pennsylvania every day?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I need to live here too if you want a plumber.
Yep.
I'm not going to squeeze in 40 guys into Patterson just so you can have lower prices on your toilet replacement. You know? It's frustrating. It really is. And I'm kind of bitter about it because I had an argument with someone today about my pricing and she was like, "Oh, I can't." It's like, first of all,
customer?
yeah. So she hasn't used us in a long time.
Okay.
Call someone else.
And she's kind of, and I know she's never going to hear this, but I'm not going to say her name anyway. But she's ancient, okay? And she used my grandfather, she used my uncle back in the 90s. And like, I kind of excuse her because people who are like ready to kick the bucket have no idea how bad it's gotten with supply chains and stuff. Like, they can't put that into perspective.
Yeah.
So 15 years ago, when it was 150 to change the toilet valve, now it's 260.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's like, listen, this is what happens when supply chains and manufacturing is drowned out and inflation is on the rise. Like, we need to live here too,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
And I'm sure, do you get complaints about your pricing? Do people go, oh,
Yeah. No, I don't. Not complaints. I mean, they.
comments?
Yeah. Yeah. I've gotten a couple.
Listen, what you're doing though, you're selling your creativity, which you can name the price tag on almost. Obviously, you have to be competitive.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're selling a service where the parts cost this much
X
and my
amount,
labor
right,
costs this
exactly,
much. But
yeah.
you're selling like
Time.
you're selling your time and your creative brain.
Yeah.
And you have to pay for that. People have to pay for that.
Yeah.
You know, you can learn to do anything plumbing on YouTube. Go ahead. But if you want me to come in my fully stocked truck with my aunt who answers the phones and I have to pay her, with my other truck that's on another job that I have to put gas in and put insurance on both, with a shop that I have to keep, you're paying for that. Look, so she's like, "Oh, the part only costs like $22." I'm like, "Okay, I'm not going all the way to the store to pick it up and charging you $20. It costs me gas and insurance and truck damage and stuff. Like, you're paying $175 for me to put this in." Like, you know?
Yeah.
So when you have your lenses, your lighting, your crew, your transportation, I mean, I feel like I'm selling you on your own business, but like, I'm just trying to relate to you on this.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's the same thing.
The insurance that we carry, the website hosting that we have to have, the software that we use to
That's right, you need
financially do everything.
You need insurance too.
To walk in any venue in northern New Jersey, you need liability that's $2 million.
I didn't even realize that. 2 million?
1 million, 2 million, like aggregate one. Like, it's,
What?
Yeah.
For a photographer?
yeah, it's not expensive to carry the insurance because you are.
Well, we need $1 million insurance.
Yeah.
But we're using we're using like flames in houses and using with pressurized water and gas. I mean,
I think it's a general. Yeah, it's across the board. Like even like I don't know so much about the florist, but I know the DJ needs to carry that much insurance.
I'm
wow.
not even gonna tell you what some of the high risk trades on my job, what their insurance is.
Well, tell me.
Take a guess. Elevator guy.
Elevate. Well, okay, so that's a high risk job.
Okay. How about the facade, installing the windows on the outside of the building?
Well, they're tall buildings, right? You can fall.
Doesn't matter if it's 8 stories or anything under 8. You can get your insurance lowered, but
10 million, 25, $70 million insurance, 100 million,
120,
$120 million insurance.
$120 million policy.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
I will never work in the city.
I was just reading something last night. 300K is like the new 100K. Remember, like when the whole I make $100,000?
Yeah.
That's now
Yeah, that's
300,000. I was reading that last night in bed.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to raise the minimum wage again. I thought $15 an hour was gonna cut it. What happened? It's like, hello.
They're not going to raise.
Will
them.
somebody please talk to an economist before they pass laws? Anyway, we're going on a tangent. We shouldn't. Sorry, folks. Trying to stay apolitical here. We do talk politics that affects small business, like, stuff but we don't want to go too in depth because
I feel you.
we don't want to ostracize our good listeners. But I've seen a lot of memes lately. So speaking of Reddit, so I still browse Reddit. I've gotten kicked off of Reddit recently for some stupid comment.
Several times.
But I actually follow some photographers, and there's now the big complaint is, and I get this, they're like, feed the workers first. Let us eat first. What's the deal with eating when you go? Do most people let you eat prior, or do they make you work all freaking day?
So every venue's a little different.
Right.
I've worked at them enough to know what the food situation's like, because food is a big part of my day. But I pack accordingly myself, just in case we don't get fed. My lawyer has one wedding I didn't get fed, and I brought it up to my lawyer, and he's like, "You need that in your contract." And I'm like, "Okay." So now my contract reads, if I work for more than 6 hours, you're like, I don't know, whatever lawyer words says that you need to feed me. But now, since I've had that in my contract, there have been 1 or 2 weddings where I wasn't fed, and my question's always been like, do they mail me a sandwich later? Like, what does this actually do for me? I'm not going to hold their pictures because the venue decides. It's not the couple's fault that the venue.
Oh, the venue didn't feed you guys?
So
gotcha.
There's vendor meals. We sometimes eat in like a closet somewhere, or sometimes we eat like where the cocktail hour was. Most venues will allow you to have cocktail, but sometimes we'll get a letter that we have to sign from the venue that says we won't participate in cocktail hour with the guests.
So you have to do it after. You have
Yeah.
to eat there after.
Yeah. But we do, I mean, I would say 98% of the weddings we get fed. But yeah, the point is, like, they normally will feed all of the guests, and then they'll put our plates in the cocktail hour room. I will sit down, I'll take a bite of whatever's there, and then some maitre d' will frantically come and be like, "They're cutting the cake!"
Yeah.
It's like, and then we get up and we go and
Tell them wait 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I need 5.
You have to take care of your service workers.
Yeah.
I mean, this is very petty, but not that we hold it against customers, but we'll notice when when we're on their job all day and they don't even offer you water.
Yeah.
It's like, you're upstairs working, like, you got a bottle of water, especially if it's the summertime.
Yeah.
I don't hold it against people if they don't, but
Yeah.
it's something I notice.
Definitely. Yeah,
You know?
definitely.
And you know what we do when this is actually, no, forget, I was going to make a joke. I was going to say, if they don't offer you water, then we make them wait on their no heat call, but we definitely don't do that. I want to kind of wrap up here, but I want to ask, and I want to put this in the right way. 2, 3, or 4 points when people are booking a wedding photographer, what they should do, and like just kind of tidbits of information of people. We're in the midst of huge wedding season, right? Everyone wants to get married in the fall, right?
Yeah, it's a big time.
But something that would make their day go easier, booking, like, what advice do you have for people who are going to use Justin Pedrick photography?
Or just not use me, but to shop for any photographer, trust the person that you're going to hire. If you brought up a couple times, it's a creative thing that you're hiring based on the work.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I have any couples that look at my website and go like, I really don't like this, but like let's book them anyway.
Right.
They see the actual photos on there and go like, no, I like this guy. Let's do that. So the trust,
Trust you to make the right artistic decision.
and trust me about, you know, things like timeline. Like part of what we offer is timeline assistance. So
Okay.
much of the day revolves around photos. Are they doing a first look? Are we shooting during cocktail hour? Wrangling all of the bridal party and the family, knowing who those people are, memorizing names. The timing is so dependent on like us. We kind of make the schedule.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll just say, you know, I think you're being a little ambitious with what you want to do during that time frame, because they'll take something as simple like, all right, the church to the park takes 15 minutes. I'm like, no, it doesn't. You're going to put 25 people in your bridal party into a limousine and then drive 15 minutes to the park and then get them all out of the limousine. And then Mary forgot her bouquet.
You're 3 hours easily.
Right. Jim's drunk somewhere. Like, this is going to take a long time. I always say that everything is going to take 10 minutes longer than you think it's going to take.
Okay.
Because it is. It's a very hectic day. So trust us. You know, we've shot thousands, definitely over 1,000 weddings, and probably seen most of it. So yeah, the trust thing is big. Don't hire a photographer that you don't like their work. That's a big thing. I often get people that try to. They look at they look at the work, and then we have a phone conversation. And they're like, I saw this one thing on TikTok, and I'm just like, I don't think I'm your guy. Like, I'll just know, and I'll be very honest with them, because I don't want to give them a product after the fact that they don't like.
Gotcha.
That's going to reflect poorly on me, of course. It's like, so the trust kind of has to happen. Do your research, because with COVID, like another thing that's gone down is, yeah, a lot of people are learning how to do this on the internet, and there's like a lot of I don't want to call them imposters, but there's people that just don't have the experience, don't have the know-how on how to run a day. It seems simple enough. You get a camera, you learn how to use it, you take some pictures. But I've been reading way too many stories about either people not getting their pictures because the guy just like flew the coop and they don't have any wedding photos because the people didn't do their research.
Oh my gosh.
Or they missed some like key moments. Like, at my sister's wedding, there wasn't even a shot with my sister and my dad. I was like, they didn't get a picture of the dad and the bride. Like,
wow.
Because they were maybe too busy thinking of the creative home run stuff that's going to fluff up their social media presence. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, so yeah, the research I think is important. Like, read the reviews. Like, do these people follow through on their promises? That's a big thing.
That's a lot of pressure, I guess, on to hit. I didn't even think about all the little stuff that you have to know. Holy crap! I need to be taking pictures of this. Everyone, get over there, do that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of that's a lot of pressure. It's a miracle that you even get to eat at any weddings at all. I mean, what else you got? I mean, anything else that you want to tell people? Because I want you to plug all your socials after this too.
No, I think that's it.
No.
Yeah.
Are summer weddings the worst?
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Why? Because of the heat?
I just wanted.
Is that the only reason, the heat?
I picture you dripping sweat taking pictures.
Yeah,
of it.
the heat's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Ugh, who's
I
getting
feel
married in the
you
summer?
know, I'm always dressed more for the occasion. If it's a summer wedding, I will wear like a polo shirt, you know, and I feel for the groomsmen on a summer wedding.
Oh,
yeah.
They're in like a
God.
3-piece and we're on the beach or something and they're just melting. And in the summertime, the bridesmaids are in these like low cut dresses and we're taking out pictures outside and I'm in my like ski jacket. Like, all right.
You know what's funny?
Hang in there.
I have family all over the country, but I have a lot of family in Ohio, and I've been to a lot of Ohio weddings. It's jeans, t-shirt.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there is a bridal dress, and the groom is in a suit for 20 minutes.
Yep.
And that's it. And it's in a VFW
Yep.
with a tape deck and CD player, and cold cuts for the hors d'oeuvres and like grilled chicken. It is. I tell people like the weddings out here. Like I go to Ohio, I tell my cousins like, oh, I just went to this wedding, like this massive. They can't even fathom. They're like, how much did they spend? I'm like, I don't know, 60 grand, 70 grand, maybe even more than that. They're like, you're talking. They're renting a VFW for $250 for the afternoon. Totally different.
My wife and I had our reception in an Elks Lodge.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sorry. Why do you want to start your life together, like dropping all this money? But that's just me. You want to have a big wedding, hire Justin, pay him good money, but but that's just me. Like to start your life and just drop all this money is just insane to me. But
Yeah.
listen, tell people where they can find you.
On Instagram, it's at Justin Pedrick Photography, one word.
And I'll put all this down at the bottom of the screen
Cool.
for you.
JustinPedrick.com.
Pedrick.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah.
And you want to plug your OnlyFans?
Yeah,
Your
I'll
OnlyFans?
put that on
Oh,
there.
you want to put the link up?
Yeah, it's Big Daddy 123.
Of course it is. That was like your middle school email, wasn't it?
Yeah.
At ed.edu.
Dude, my
Big Daddy at riverdale.edu.
my AIM username was Big Daddy 69.
Unbelievable. When you were like 12.
Yeah, 13, 14.
Dude, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Thanks for being the stand-in co-host for Max.
I need to do part 2 to tell you how my knee is.
We'll get you on for another time.
I'll be back.
All right. And Justin, thanks for coming on.
Thanks
I
for having
appreciate
me.
it.
Yeah,
And thanks for
appreciate
using us as your plumber.
Absolutely. Wouldn't think of it any other way.
Excellent. All right, folks, listen. Thanks for tuning in to Plum Bums. We appreciate it. Please remember to like, subscribe, share. We have a ton of good content coming out. We have some really cool guests coming up. But please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Spotify. You can get the audio on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio, I think. But YouTube is where it's at. That's where the video is. So please tell your friends and keep watching. And thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.